What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're hitting the road in my Polestar 2, which I'm walking to right now from my apartment, and we are headed from Charlotte, North Carolina to Knoxville, Tennessee, and we're actually going to go check out a new battery system for DC fast charging. So let's hop in the car and hit the road. It's about 500 miles round trip. So we are at 100% charged overnight, of course. And here's the route we're going on, -19 there. So we're just gonna need a very brief stop. As we go through Asheville, it does go up elevation a fair amount. So most likely that's gonna be my path here. We'll just do a quick stop there and I can actually arrive there with essentially zero if I want to, because it's actually a DC fast charger. We'll see how that looks. There are some bailout options along the way if needed. But let's get on the road. And we arrived with 10%, but I'm charging up here. I've been charging for a few minutes now. There is our efficiency for that, like 211.7 miles. So in theory, we could have gone about 230 miles if you use that 10%. But like I said before, this car gets dangerously slow below 7%. And what's cool is I just discovered that the car will actually show you how far you need to charge. And I'll show a picture since I'm already past it. But it showed a finish flag of and it showed 25% is needed to reach your destination. So let's just see what this says here. Continue or charge to at least 27%. And there we go. So it's estimating arrival with 8%. Dismiss, because that's fine. I think we're ready to go. We are now charged to 92% on this electric era battery-based DC fast charger system using a Signet unit there. And time to hit the road back to Charlotte. Well, we've arrived in Waynesville, North Carolina. We're at this ChargePoint CP250 setup. We're at 50%. Really don't need to charge here. We're gonna head to a Duke charger next that I wanna check out. But here we have 62 kilowatt. And this is a really silly setup in my opinion, because this station is owned by the utility here. So Haywood EMC. And this station is owned by this BP gas station convenience store here. And as a result of that, these don't have power sharing because they're on completely separate meters, would be my guess. It's really dumb that they're not on this, or that they're not able to power share. But we do have this really nice canopy here, wood with tons of lights. It's interesting that they have emergency shutoffs over here on all four corners, or all of the posts, which seems a little bit much, but I guess it's there and that doesn't hurt anything. And then we actually have 4 more positions here of more chargers that can go in, which is kind of cool. And they're using chairs to cover them up, which I guess it works. It stops people from walking over them or tripping on them or anything. But some of these conduits are just open, which is not great. And they don't have any trash cans over here, so there's trash there and trash there. So some room for improvement, but overall pretty good. It is a bit steep backing up onto here. And it's like this gravel area, a little weird. And over there we have all the equipment. So you've got your transformer, step down or step up transformer, which is kind of interesting. That's that, let's see if I can get my finger there, that piece right there. Then you've got your panel and your disconnects. And yeah, it's quite lovely here. Weather's beautiful, and it's just rural North Carolina. I'm gonna run in, use the restroom, grab a snack, and we'll be back on the road. Well, that was a surprisingly nice convenience store inside. Got a Red Bull and some peanut butter M&Ms. Haven't had any caffeine today, which if you know me is a bit surprising. But we're going to unplug here. Let's see what we're at. We're up to 60%, so plenty. Like I said, didn't need to charge. $3, we added 8.5 kilowatt hour. So let's actually see the current here, and then we'll unplug. These stations are capable of delivering either 156 amps or 62.5 kilowatt. So due to the high pack voltage on the Polestar 2, we're getting a little bit lower current, but we are getting full power from the CP250. But if they had these two stations in a paired configuration, we'd be getting 200 amps, so we'd be getting 84 kilowatts. So like I said, don't need to charge, but still missed opportunity to have a better charging offer here. Stop charging there. Still figuring out the exact sequence necessary here, because sometimes it seems like it's unlocked just from stopping charging, and sometimes I need to hit the button, or maybe I'm just too impatient. So if someone knows the real answer there, feel free to comment down below. We're gonna hit the road.
There's a triangle stop 50 minutes away. Want to navigate there?
So that's where we're going next. That's the Duke DC fast charger that I'm going to check out, because last time I was there, it was limited to 125 amps. But PlugShare now indicates that it's up to 200 amps. So I guess one way to find out, we'll get there with 35%. So should be plenty to test out whether we'll get 200 amps or not. Arrived with 40% here at this Triangle Stop Food Stores. Right over there, got the EV6 and chargers back there. Well, we're charging at 203 amps here at the Saluda Quick Stop here, and it's a Duke Park and Plug station here. There was an EV6 charging that was getting 135 kilowatt because it's an 800 volt car. My Polestar 2 with its 450 volt pack is only getting about 80 something kilowatt because it's 200 amp limited with these REMA 200 amp cables, unfortunately. But we're charged enough. We've added 12.5 kilowatt hour. We're gonna stop charging here and we'll get back on the road. We're headed to Spartanburg next. And that is where we're headed next. Gotta go check out a site. Made my pit stop here in Spartanburg. We're at 43% and we're headed to the Greenville Electrify America just to charge up a bit there, and then we'll head over to Fountain Inn and then to Lancaster, South Carolina, and then finally home. Ended up charging to 70% at that Electrify America in Greenville. Yep. So number one wouldn't charge at all. Number two was limiting to 32 kilowatts for the i3 that was using it, and that's what it was saying on PlugShare as well. Number three is what I ended up charging on. I think it was slightly reduced power, but mostly fine. The charge handle had a crack on the cover, but that's cosmetic. And number four had a broken holster, but was otherwise charging fine. So that's what the i3 ended up moving to. But anyway, I charged for 18 minutes, added 30 something kilowatt hour, and now we're headed to Fountain Inn, South Carolina. That's fairly close by, but there is a ton of traffic, unfortunately. I kind of forgot about that factor with planning this drive at this hour. Oops. But yeah, we're headed there, and then we'll go pretty long drive and then start heading home. Made my brief stop in Fountain Inn, and now we're headed to Lancaster. I'll show you that, where it's about 100 miles. Saying we'll get there at 20%, we'll probably get there with more, and we're at 67% right now. Here we have the new Duke park and plug, DC fast chargers. I grabbed some snacks, and now it's time to hit the road back home. So I'm gonna go to the Circle K charging station in Rock Hill, South Carolina, but I'm probably gonna see if I can just make it home to here. We'll see what the estimate does as we get going. Car wash time. So I decided to go to the Circle K in Rock Hill. It's actually on the other side of the interstate here, but wanted to get a car wash here before we go over there because my car is covered in bugs, which is not surprising to anyone that's ever taken a road trip. But I did the route planning, and it would have been 1% to get home. And in most cars, I'd be fine with arriving with 1%. However, this car becomes basically dangerously slow under 7%. So I didn't really want to roll in that low. If it was maybe 5%, I'd probably be fine. But 1% is too low for my comfort with this car. Otherwise, I'd be totally fine with it. Plugged in here at Circle K. We plugged in at 10%. We've already gone up to 14% there. Very bright screen. 4 kilowatt hour added. And we're getting 149 kilowatts, 371 amps. This station will do up to 400 amps. And just like that, we've added 21 and a half roughly kilowatt hour in just over 8 minutes. So let's get unplugged and get back on the road and close the charge port because I have left that open way too many times. Just like that, we're up to 35%. And we've got 25 minutes to go. Well, I'll drop in some stats here below, but just over 600 miles, about 10 and a half hours of driving, about 3 miles per kilowatt hour. So pretty solid efficiency. I was driving pretty quickly for most of the drive. Route planner was super handy with all the stops I was making today. Really glad to have it, especially compared to the ID4 that didn't have any route planner. But I did actually use a better route planner on my phone a little bit just for general planning because adding multiple stops is a little clumsy on the Polestar Google Maps implementation. But anyway, hopefully this video wasn't too much of a mess. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. If you haven't already, hit this like button and subscribe button.